you a introduction to the way ESS BIZTOOLS operates. So what we're going to show you is what's to be covered in this webinar: the products and tools, business advisory services, which are really the flagship of ESS BIZTOOls, because I believe that that is the major issue confronting the Australian accounting industry, and that is how to supply additional services to the marketplace that numerous surveys have indicated that the small medium enterprise operators of Australia and New Zealand want. We'll have a look at our newsletter, Business Plus, which is produced each month with two additional editions in May, one on the federal budget as it affects small business, and the other our end-of-year tax planning checklist. Client mentoring and coaching are some modules which have been developed to assist accountants to educate your clients in the type of services that accountants can provide. I think one of the real challenge for accountants in offering chief financial officer type services is ensuring that your clients appreciate what these extra services are. I don't believe that clients are going to readily agree to paying accountants thousands of dollars more than what they're currently paying for an annual set of accounts and a tax return unless there has been an education process so that the client understands the benefits, the business value adding benefits that they're going to obtain from the additional services that your firm will be able to supply. Leadership, we have 9 modules on leadership that have been developed by Leadership Academy, a business run by Peter McDougall, ex-colonel in the Australian Army, who has developed a small business package for us to use. We have seminars or webinars that you can use to promote to your clients. There are 460 papers within ESS BIZTOOLs targeted at small medium enterprises that you can badge and send to your clients or prospects as being your own material. We also have an associated product, ESS BizGrants, which is a tool which will assist accountants to identify grants that their small medium enterprise clients might be interested in applying for. And many of our subscribers to BizGrants have expressed surprise at the number of grants that are available for small medium enterprises to apply for. If you elect to be a gold subscriber to ESS BIZTOOLs, you automatically receive a free access to ESS BizGrants. So that's worth thinking about. And then we're going to look at the overall website tour. There's a set of PowerPoint slides for every paper so that the information's prepared so you can start using it. There are some standard letters, and on our site you can access YouTube recordings on previous webinars and hints on how to use some of the products. So we believe that what we're offering accountants is a network of a series of products that will assist accountants to deliver non-compliance services, primarily business advisory services, but with the aim to offer a chief financial officer's services for your clients. So that on the chart you have there at present, you can see that the composition of the ESS BIZTOOLs total products, the family if you like. We started with papers and then we developed some client seminars, but the real products that have been developed have been business advisory services, the Business Plus newsletter, client mentoring and coaching modules, the leadership modules, and we've mentioned ESS BizGrants. There's also client seminars or webinars that you're able to access to. So a gold subscriber gets access to all of this, including ESS BizGrants. We do have other levels of subscription. A silver subscriber doesn't receive biz grants, nor a couple of the other products, and we also have a bronze subscription available. The business advisory services starts off with some introduction modules. There's 9 of them to set the scene for an accountancy business. Unless you're already undertaking business advisory services, I don't believe that you'll be able to start generating realistic income straight away. In fact, Andrew Geddes from Smith Inc. 2020 has indicated that he believes this is a 3-year process to get a firm that was previously a annual accounts tax return preparation, a compliance type firm, to be fully engaged in offering business advisory services. Andrew says will take 3 years. I think the figure's 2 to 3 years. It does depend on the commitment, and like designing a house, it depends on the initial planning, and that's where the introduction to business advisory services modules can assist. Looking at issues from partners' point of view, team members' point of view, and your client's point of view. Then working out which products you're going to offer and how you're going to present that. Within the business advisory services product modules, at this stage we've got 10 products, and there's 2 new products to be added in the next couple of weeks. So it's looking at issues like business health check, valuation workshop, budgets and cash flow forecasts, chief financial officer services, strategic business mentoring, which is really an executive director type role, assisting the CEO or the general manager or owner of a business to achieve their goals, which might be to have the business to have a valuation of $3 million within 3 years, or it might be for the business to be able to undertake an IPO, an initial public offer, and list on the stock exchange. Or it might be to get the business prepared so that there can be an orderly succession within the business in 5 years' time. Cash flow management, business planning, buying a business, succession planning, selling a business. So those modules are prepared, ready for use by accounting firms to help you deliver these products without you having to spend the hundreds of hours on producing your own material. Within ESS BIZTOOLS, you can edit any of the material. However, if you do edit it, obviously you're responsible for it from there on. But you could use our templates and our material as the basis for a range of services that you're going to offer. So business advisory tools includes the material that's on the screen there at present. Papers that are directed at you as the accountancy practitioner on how to go about offering business advisory services. Forms and checklists, questionnaires, client manuals, and then a procedure for you to prepare a quotation and a proposal letter and a timetable for your clients. Business Plus newsletter. Now this is a newsletter that's prepared so you can brand it and send it to your clients. It's not full of taxation articles. In fact, we try to make sure there's no more than 1 or 2 taxation articles in each edition. Why? Because our research, small medium enterprise operators, has indicated to us that they don't like receiving newsletters from their accountants that are full of taxation articles. Many of them have the view that taxation's your field of expertise, and therefore those newsletters should be going to you. All they want to know is taxation issues that directly affect them, not that there's been a change to section such and such. You can add or delete material, you can add material to it, and we send you details of what's in the newsletter so that you can refer to papers before you send them out. So if you get phone calls from clients, you have had some time to do some additional reading. We also have client mentoring and coaching, 13 pre-prepared modules on business advice. These were developed because we got a phone call one afternoon from a subscribing accounting firm in Perth who said that someone who they'd been trying to secure as a client for 3 years was coming in that afternoon, and they wanted to show them how different they were to their competitors. And part of their point of differentiation was that they were using ESS BIZTOOLS. So the question was, what papers should I give them? I wrapped off some papers, and then the subscriber said to me, why don't you put that into a product so that I don't have to ring you every time I get a new client? It was good advice. We developed 13 pre-prepared modules whereby progressively over a period of time you would send some papers and other information to a client or a prospect to educate them in what the various services are. What is break-even? What are key performance indicators? What is corporate governance? All these sorts of issues that if you want clients to be paying you thousands of dollars more than what they are currently paying you, because you're going to be able to offer them business advisory services or non-compliant services, we believe that part of that process is educating the client. The client, based on the surveys from small medium enterprises, it indicated that they like to receive this sort of information. But they need to be convinced that their accounting firm, the accounting firm that they might have dealt with for 15 years and only received annual accounts and taxation from, can provide them with an additional range of services as if they were the chief financial officer of those firms. You need to promote this, in our opinion, to your clients and prospects. Indeed, I was at a conference organised by Smith Inc. on the Gold Coast early February, where a speaker who was a leading practitioner from Melbourne indicated that he'd got the shock of his life when he was reviewing a profit and loss account and noticed there was $26,000 in the accounts for professional services fees. He knew it wasn't his firm, so he inquired of the client, and the client said he'd paid that money to a coach. The accountant was a bit taken back by this and said, well, why didn't you come and see us? We could have done that for you. And he said, I've been your client for 15 years. You've never told me that you'd undertake any work other than taxation and annual accounts preparation. I didn't know you did this sort of work. What sort of response would you have from your clients if they'd suddenly employed a coach and you approached them and said that you could have prepared those services for them? There's a real challenge for accountants, all of us, to inform our clients that accountants in general practice can supply chief financial officer type services, non-compliant services to their clients to add in the business valuation process. The leadership modules have been written by Colonel Peter McDougall for accountants to assist you to mentor, first of all, your team and then your individual clients on leadership issues. It's introductory leadership material. If they're interested in learning more about leadership in the future, Peter McDougall's happy to assist them, and indeed he has participated in a few seminars around Australia for some of our subscribers, normally whilst he's been in their city undertaking work for major government departments or big business, which is his main income source. But he's made himself available to go to various accounting firms and work with them with their clients on leadership issues. Client seminars and webinars. There's 35 seminars ready for use within ESS BIZTOOLS. You really don't have to do anything other than read the material. And to make sure you don't get the wrong paper or the wrong set of PowerPoint slides for a particular seminar, we've put individual seminars into modules to assist you to successfully run a seminar or webinar. Great promotional tools, seminars and webinars. And obviously these days, with the internet and with accountants having clients all over Australia, the webinar is a great tool that can be used. So the papers, I said 460 papers before, I was wrong. There's 480 papers targeted at small, medium enterprise ready for you to brand and send to your clients. There is also 50 papers in the sections numbered 500 to 570 that are targeted at accountancy practitioners, giving you advice on the type of matters that we believe are important in running a service to your clients, emphasising non-compliance matters. And for each of these papers, there's a set of PowerPoint slides. You can badge them with your logo. They're ready for use, for you to be able to utilise those PowerPoint slides in seminars, webinars, workshops, small meetings of clients, or even your own staff training, which incidentally many of our subscribers initially use the ESS BIZTOOLS material for, to bring everyone up to speed on the non-compliance issue. ESS Biz Grants, I mentioned that on the introduction, but some of you were not logged on then, I noticed. But ESS Biz Grants is a separate website, so it has separate username and passwords, but it's part of the ESS BIZTOOLS Gold subscription. And what this product does is it identifies, after you insert the answers to 20 basic questions, it then identifies grants that a small medium enterprise might be eligible for. You then have to answer some additional questions on some of the grants that you've selected that your client might be interested in. The system then produces a grant report and can produce papers from the toolkit for you to make a solid, proactive presentation to your client as to the type of grants that are available. At the present time in Australia, many businesses are underperforming or suffering. There is no doubt a two-speed economy operating. Some parts of the mining industry, not all incidentally, seem to be booming, yet other parts of the country are not performing so well. Therefore, accessing government grants to help your clients fund up to 50% of a specific project can be a great way to assist them. So we're going to take a tour and go through and look at the various components on the website. To give you an idea of what the costs are for ESS BIZTOOLS, a gold subscription is $2,700 plus GST, or you can pay in 12 monthly installments if you wish. Silver subscription is $1,990 plus GST. There is a bronze subscription of $800 plus GST. Business Plus only, some people elect just to subscribe to the Business Plus newsletter, $550 for the 13 issues plus GST. And you can subscribe separately if you wish to ESS Biz Grants for $450 plus GST. So we're now going to just go on to the we're on the ESS BIZTOOLS website, as you said when you go onto it. We're going to go straight through to products. So within the products, you've got the main areas that I've just mentioned: business advisory services, client mentoring, leadership, Business Plus, papers, seminars, and tools and forms. The small business advisory package is a separate package which we've produced for trainers of small businesses. They can get some of the material within ESS BIZTOOLS, but it is not really targeted at accountancy businesses. If you wish to go into business advisory services, on the left-hand side of the screen we have the Introduction to Business Advisory Services, or the area with the mauve background. These are the 9 modules that have been prepared to assist an accountancy business get ready to deliver business advisory services. And on the right-hand side are the 10 modules that are currently in the system on products within business advisory services. To give you an idea what's in one of these, we'll go to implementation of business advisory services. At the beginning of each one of our papers, and this is presented in a paper format, there is an executive summary together with an indication of what's contained in a paper. We'll just download this. We're downloading this on the internet, so it does take a little while to get downloaded. This paper is going to look at the key areas of implementing business advisory services. So it includes forms and checklists for the firm to undertake a review with a partner and then team members. But we've prepared this paper the same as we'd prepare a paper that was prepared to go to a client. Above these double lines here, you can brand it with your name and logo, address, etc. There's always a set of contents, and there's also a set of forms within the document, so that we have a paper. It is linked to other papers. We won't go through the linkages, but they do link, so you can read more about the theory of offering a wider range of services to your small, medium enterprise clients. We've now gone to a checklist for the introduction of business advisory services. This would help you undertake the review, to do the SWOT analysis if you like. Why would you be introducing business advisory services to your firm? Are you offering proactive services, or is everything you do as a bookkeeper, historian, recording reactive accounting services, recording past events? There's no doubt that business advisory services requires you to be part of the forward planning advisory team for your client. So that's what that checklist is all about. Obviously, in the time we've got here, we're just giving you a sample of what's on view. We have in there a checklist of attributes of an A and B class client, because we think the service should only be offered to your A class clients and B class clients if you're trying to make A class clients. Have you already gone through and analysed your clients and decided who are A's and B's and C's or anything else? I find many accountancy firms haven't done that. It's an interesting exercise. So we're talking about quality assurance coaches. We've given you a list of some of the coaches who are available to assist accountancy businesses. Because some accountancy firms will find that they do need assistance or motivation to proceed with the installation of business advisory services. There's a whole range of other papers, all to do with the same general subject headings, which will help you. And then you've got some of the forms, implementing business advisory services strategy, some of the questions you might want to look at, checklist for the introduction, which we linked to a little while ago, and so on. Okay, we're now going to move back to and have a look at a product within business advisory services. You might have a look at cash flow management. Cash flow management is concentrating on debtors, stock, work in progress, creditors, and general cash flow management issues to make sure your client has got these under control. So we'll download the paper. This one's a rather extensive paper, it's a big subject. What you're going to see is a section on debtors, which is what we will concentrate on today, and it includes some questionnaires and a procedure manual to work your way through undertaking a review of your client's debtors. As accountants, I think we need to answer some questions as to why debtors days outstanding is so high. 52 days on average, yet there are many businesses that are trading at 70, 80, 90 days outstanding. Yet in the same industries occasionally you'll find people who have got debtors days outstanding of under 30 days. Why? In most cases, I believe it's because the client has never established a proper debtors system. And as accountants, we have tended in the past to merely ask the client what their total of debtors was, or just get the figure out of the balance sheet. How many have really looked at debtors days outstanding analysis? How many have calculated the debtors days, average days outstanding? How many of you have sat down and talked to your clients about the problems that these large debtors days outstanding are causing to them? So our attempt here is to give you some material that you could conduct a review of your client's debtors with a view to then being able to make recommendations to them as to changes that they might like to implement. So in the first instance, we've got the paper, we've got the content, so we're going to look at debtors of an effective system, a debtors system manual which you can make available to them, and then some of the key areas within debtors management. So we'll go into the paper to start with. So there's a whole range of forms you can see there covering work in progress, stock, creditors, debtors insurance, discounting and factoring, all part of this overall cash flow management question. Each of these business advisory services papers starts from what we're calling a one-on-one meeting. We're suggesting that when you launch business advisory services that you have a seminar for a select group of clients, no more than 20 clients in a meeting, so that you can talk to them on a one-to-one basis. And after that meeting you invite them to come to a private one-on-one meeting which might last 2 to 3 hours. Our recommendation is you don't charge for that meeting. It's a promotional meeting, marketing if you like. The client's been to a seminar, they've heard and understand the general thrust of what business advisory service is all about. Now our suggestion is you invite them to attend the meeting. And it's from that one-on-one meeting that the client has identified that one of their key worries is their cash flow management. It might be debtors or stock or work in progress. So that this is the paper which would guide your team member in going through and looking at how the system for the client works. So we'd be going through and looking at whether they've got a credit application form, what do they do with private company directors' application forms, do they even have an application form? Now if you ask them that question and they say what's an application form, we've included one in the system which you could click onto, show the client, and if the client hasn't got a suitable form and you think this is suitable for them, download this and use it as part of the system for the client so that they have a form which you can readily use. If you wish to edit it, you can. What do they do with a director's guarantee form? Now, some of your clients will say, what's that? We've included the sample only form. Obviously, these forms should be prepared by their solicitors, but it gives you the opportunity of showing them what a guarantee form looks like, so that the client can say, yeah, we'll include that in your brief, and we'll look at having our solicitor look at that. I think one of the biggest problems is that many of your clients do not have a welcome to new client letter. So we've got one drafted. It's in the templates. You can look at it and say, does this suit? Because, pardon me, clients should be told what their credit limit is or what the payment terms are. And if there's any additional requirements that they have that they require to receive some extra documents, it might be wave bridges, it might be health certificates, it might be any sort of information, that you confirm it back to them, because you're going to make sure then that your client's system is ensuring that those items are included in what is sent to the customer. Maybe you'd be confirming there also the dates by which your client has to submit all this information if they're going to get paid in that monthly payment cycle. It's a big problem in the mining industry. In the mining industry, you'll find some of your clients, if they're involved in it, have probably got debtors days outstanding of 60 to 70 days. Yet it's not unusual to find from the same mining company, some of their suppliers are operating under 30 days. When you review the reason for that, invariably you will find the first person, the one over 60 odd days, has not supplied all the information required by the mining company by the due date, and therefore they just get pushed into the next month's bundle. So perhaps this letter can assist your clients to make sure that process is working properly. So we're just working our way through the checklist there. We'll go back and pick out some other forms. What sort of internal advice is given to your sales department about clients' requirements? Are they doing that, or do they need to be changes made? What's your client done about the Personal Property Securities Act? Have they got a procedure in place for placing details on the register? Or do some of them think that the previous type arrangements are continuing to operate? We've included in the system a debtors days outstanding calculator. So you could leave this with the client as a means whereby they can calculate the debtors days outstanding. And we've got reference numbers there to facilitate the client actually calculating what their debtors days outstanding are, and then they can insert what their targeted figures are. And then to assist in targeting, we've produced a debtors reduction checklist form whereby they can insert the name of the debtor, the targeted amount, who's allocated to go and get these extra payments. Because if they're going to move their debtors days outstanding from 60 to 40 over the next 3 months, they need to really identify some of their key clients and then have someone go and eyeball them to get the money. And then they can progressively record the collections that they've made. There's a full debtors review questionnaire. I don't know how I ended up with it there. I must have pressed the wrong button. There's a full debtors review questionnaire in the system, which gives you another way of undertaking this review to work through each question, analysing what the client's responses have been. And the last item I want to show you on the debtors manual is we've produced a manual for you to supply to your clients if you wish. So you'd prepare this for the name of the client by your firm, and this is a manual that summarises all aspects of the debtor system. You can edit this if you wish. It can be left with the client part of the project. You charge them for it, and it's a document that at least has a written system as to how debtors operates in this particular business. It contains a whole range of forms and an explanation on the various terms, so that the person that's got the job of supervising debtors within your client's business has some sort of written system to assist him or her in undertaking that job. Now within the module, there is also a form to assist in the preparation of the budget. A number of accountants have indicated to us they're not really used to doing budgets, especially for jobs like this. So we've prepared a template of a budget preparation. We've listed all the things that we think you might undertake in cash flow management, and if you want to read further on them, you can click back onto them and the system will take you back to them. And then you insert the hours that you estimate that the various team members who are going to be involved. If you've undertaken to do some what-if scenario calculations, you could include those. And this will give you a build-up as to what the fee looks like it should be. Then you can decide on the fee and decide on the payment schedule. It's very important, we believe, in these type of jobs, A, to give a quotation, and B, to set in place a progressive payment schedule so that the clients appreciate that this is different to the taxation work that they may have previously received from your firm, where you may have billed them on some other basis. And in the material also, so this, what I'm showing you now, is repeated for each of these business advisory services modules. We have a proposal for cash flow management, the engagement letter if you like, setting out what you're going to undertake relative to cash flow management. And obviously if you're not going to do some of these things, you would eliminate it before you would send it to the client. But it's trying to have a very professional proposal form, go to the client saying this is what we're going to do, this will be what we think the outcomes will be, here's our timetable, this is our quotation, these are the key personnel going to be involved, these are our payment terms. Additional work, very important in these type of assignments, that you cover yourself for additional work. It's not unusual for additional work to be proposed by the client. Just make sure they realise that you're going to give them a separate proposal for that and invoice them separately. And I always like the idea of the client signing off a duplicate copy of this so that they've accepted the quotation and you're then able to get on with the work. So that's our review of how a business advisory services module would work. As I said at the beginning, there's 9 others of those, and there's 2 more to be placed in the system in the near future. We might move on now to mentoring and coaching. Mentoring and coaching, there are 13 modules, all prepared, ready to go. There's some information there that you can go onto our website and read. This information that we're currently in is available to a guest login, so you can work your way around this and get some understanding as to what these modules are about. We might have a look at purchasing or commencing a business. Incidentally, there's a yellow line through it, and that means that a guest logging onto our site can gain access to this. We're suggesting that the material we've got in purchasing or commencing a business would be sent to the client in 6 separate dispatches, which we've called series. Now, our recommendation is weekly, but if you want to send them fortnightly, you could. If you wanted to give all this to the client in one instalment, you could, but I'd be a bit worried whether the client's going to read all that in time. Now, you can download the lot if you wished, and in fact some firms do send all of that material to the client in one download. They normally bind it, and it looks very nice, and it's a nice binder for the client to keep. But I personally like the idea of sending it in installments to them. They receive an email or a letter from you on 6 separate occasions. There is a letter contained within each dispatch, together with a survey form. So we're asking them to review the material you've sent them. You're explaining what it's all about in the first letter, of course, and you're trying to get some feedback. And unashamedly, we're trying to use this material so that it will encourage your client to seek additional services from you. We've also placed in the same series material that's linked. So we have both companies and R&D tax incentives in this first series. And that's primarily because in the marketplace I've noticed that some SMEs spend a lot of money on research and development and get very surprised and sometimes rather cranky when they're told that they needed to be a company to obtain that tax rebate. And some of them crankly say, well, no one ever told me that. Well, some of them are their own worst enemies because they don't tell their accountants that they're undertaking research and development. They're playing it very close to their chests. So perhaps by putting the paper on companies and the paper on research and development next to one another, if someone is doing that, they may get the message that they need to come back and talk to you. There is a letter which you would badge or put on your letterhead, which is giving them some explanation as to why you have sent them the information. Normally, our recommendation is you would charge the client for this. You might have referred to this in your first interview with them and told them you're going to send them this material. That's up to you. If you want to use it as a marketing exercise, you can do so. And within each series, there is a survey form which you would badge at the top, and you're looking for your client or prospect to indicate how helpful these papers were. Do they already know all about this, or did they find them helpful? Or is it pose some additional questions for them? Now, our recommendation is that about 5 days after you've sent the information, that a client service officer or an administration person should ring the client and inquire whether they've read the material and what they thought of it, and have they got any matters they want to discuss with an accountant. And if they do, make an appointment for them or have a telephone hookup so that you can have those questions answered, or you can attend to the work that they want you to do. Because this is all about starting a business and making sure they understand why they've got to be in various structures, or indeed how do those structures work. The number of people over the years who have asked me how a discretionary trust works, if I had $1 for each, I'd have quite a bit of money. Now, we've then included within this the actual papers. So the papers are there. Here's a paper you would have badged that. These are the papers that go out in the first series. So this is one of our papers. It's just going through. It's all written, targeted at an SME audience. These are not meant to be accountancy textbooks. They're meant to be able to help your client, your prospect, understand what this whole business adventure is all about. And we all know that a significant number of people who start businesses every year are going to fail within the first 3 years. In most cases, they fail because they have not been properly organised. And this is a lot of the material that they needed to have read and understood. And to at least then know that they need to be hiring other people to do work for them. And that an accountant can do a lot more than just prepare an income tax return. So that's there. If you like, the PowerPoint slides for each of those papers are also included. It's up to you whether you utilise those for that purpose, but hopefully that will assist. Don't forget, if you have any questions, if you want to ask me a question, that you raise your hand in the webinar terminology and send the questions in to me, or you can communicate with me at the end of the webinar. Now, what we have now is the Business Plus newsletter. I'm going to download the April newsletter. Again, this takes a little while. The newsletters are produced every month of the year, bar January. The newsletters are prepared for a small medium enterprise group audience. They are sent to you on the basis that you will badge them and can send them to your clients. The newsletters are uploaded to our website on the second Friday of a month at about 12 noon Queensland time, and indeed there are some accountancy businesses around Australia who have got people geared up on that Friday afternoon, second Friday of each month, to make sure that they rebadge and then dispatch the newsletter to their clients. You can edit the material if you wish, but obviously you're then responsible for it, or you can add additional material to it. We do leave a space for you to include a message for your client. It could be on a client that's won a small business award in your area. It could be on a baby born to an accountancy team member. It could be on a seminar or promotion that's been run by your firm or by the local Chamber of Commerce. It could be any matter at all that you wish to promote. Or it could be a general advertisement of some of the services which you're trying to promote within your firm at present. So we'll just download the newsletter. So when you get it, this is what it looks like. In the system instructions, we tell you how to delete the ESS BIZTOOLS logo and include your logo. This is number 88, so we've been preparing these newsletters for quite some time, over 7 years. We have an editorial type article to start with on some of the issues that we believe SMEs should be conscious of as what's going on in the marketplace. We have got a very fragile economic market at present in Australia and indeed the world. What are the sort of things that your clients can take some notice of in running their business? Well, we've listed the big four there as we see them, but there are others, of course, and the big sleeper in a lot of this at present is not only the federal budget but also the federal election, but also what's happening in overseas markets. It affects most of us one way or another. We've been running a series on what's it mean. This is trying to demystify accounting and business jargon. This one was on shrinkage. We also always include some notes on government grants. If you're in New South Wales and any of your clients were affected by the bushfires of about 6 months ago, those applications have to be finalised in 8 days' time. We also mentioned, though, a non-government grant. The coal industry has a special research and development grant by an organisation called ACARP. Applications have been called. They closed on the 15th of May. We have included a paper within ESS BIZTOOLS on the coal industry grant. If you've got clients who undertook research and development up to the 30th of June 2012, who operate as a company and spent more than $20,000 on the R&D, and they wish to claim the R&D rebate, they have to register with Oz Industry no later than the 30th of April, so again 8 days. The Apprenticeship Kickstart initiative had finished, but has been restarted by the government, probably because they never allocated the 21,000 grant places that they intended to. And they've also included engineering occupations, apprenticeships, into the Kickstart initiative. Then we've got general articles, time management. We just pick these out for each month. Effective waste management, looking at the 5S systems, which many of your clients may have adapted or might be thinking about. There's an article there of how you as the accountant might be able to assist your small business clients. That might be an area you want to add to. I hope none of you want to delete it because you're not prepared to offer those services. Got an article there on sales planning. What should you be looking at? We've been running a series that's just about finished now on business plans. There are 54 business plan questionnaires on individual subject headings within ESS BIZTOOLS. One of them is on business relocation. We've been running a short synopsis on what's in that questionnaire, trying to assist your clients to have a better appreciation of what a business plan is all about. We don't normally comment on proposed legislation, but because there's been so much publicity in the last 3 or 4 weeks on superannuation, we thought we had to. So we've summarised as best we can, in a few lines, what the federal government seems to be saying about superannuation at present. There's also some further changes in workforce laws that are being proposed. And the reason we've done that is that our reviews tell us that a lot of small business operators really haven't done much about a lot of the Fair Work Act, and perhaps this will encourage them to have a better look. In each issue we include a segment on it which we call Attention Accountants, which summarises papers within ESS BIZTOOLS that can assist you to better explain what some of these articles might be about to your clients if they inquire. This is the area we're suggesting you remove before you send to the clients and put your own message in there. So that's the client newsletter, which we call Business Plus. You can view many of the back issues if you wish. Next one I just want to move to is client seminars. There are 35 client seminars in the system already prepared, ready for use. They're in different time presentations, 15 hours, 5 lots of 3 hours. These figures in brackets at the end are the number of sessions and how many hours. We've found that the most popular seminars are the 1 hour seminars, so I brought up characteristics of a well-run business. This is a seminar that's been packaged for you to present in 1 hour, either as a seminar or webinar or workshop, whichever format that suits your particular accountancy business. This seminar covers 2 papers, characteristics of a well-run business and steps needed to achieve business success. So you first go on to it, you can get general hints on presenting a seminar. It's just there as background material. So this is all the generic material. There's an explanation, some seminar registration forms. Then there's material for this particular seminar, so we'll have a news release. You'd tailor this to suit your firm, your name and who's talking, and it's a newsletter it's a news release which you could give to your local media. Now we know the major metropolitan newspapers aren't going to run these type of stories, but there's 3 newspapers in all the capital cities, and obviously in the regional and country areas there is a vibrant media that are always looking for stories. So that's an article you might send out to promote. And then you've got the actual paper. So this is the paper, Characteristics of a Well-Run Business. It's looking at 20 of the major characteristics. You would badge it at the top, and there's the paper which is ready, able to be sent to the client. There's also a set of PowerPoint slides so that to operate the seminar you have all the material there ready to go to assist you. You can badge that by putting your logo on the material. So that's how seminars operate. So I said there's 35 of them. There's a wide range for you to choose from to be able to utilize seminars, webinars to assist in presentations to clients. And now I want to just go to sections and papers. We're starting to run out of time, but there are 60-odd sections within ESS BIZTOOLS. There's the section headings. The ones down to 270 relate to material for small, medium enterprises. So if you wanted to look at a section, you click on it. If you wanted to look at the paper within an individual section, you first of all, and I've gone into break-even calculation, you receive an executive summary. You can then download that material, and what we're going to get now is the paper together with the PowerPoint slides. Badge the paper at the top. There's the paper which you can send your client, which is explaining what a break-even analysis is, how it might be calculated, so as to give them a better understanding of that calculation. And if you then wanted to, you could elect to use the PowerPoint slides to explain a particular area. Some younger accountants like the PowerPoint slides, can assist them in their presentations. And just the last area that I'm going to cover very quickly is leadership module. Leadership modules have been produced by Leadership Academy. There are 9 modules that are covering, let's click through all this information, teams and teamwork, making the difference, developing leadership people skills, developing relationships, motivation, counselling, delegation and problem solving. They're also part of the package of material. So in summary, thank you very much for participating in this webinar today. If you have any questions, please send me an email. I don't see that anyone's raised their hands today, so thank you very much. Wait, there is a question there. Someone's asked me about having a short trial on the equipment. On the package, the way to do that is to apply for a guest login. That is free. That will give you access to the site. You can download 20 of the papers and some of the other material, but it will allow you to get a good idea as to how it all works. The guest login lasts for 30 days. So hopefully that assists you. If you've got any other problems with that, if you can please contact me and I can talk to you about it. So thank you very much for participating today in this overview of ESS BIZTOOLS. We are running a separate webinar on ESS Biz Grants. Next week we will send you an email reminding you of that event if you wish to participate in having a look at how Biz Grants works. We will be contacting you in the next week or so to see what you thought of this webinar. But thank you very much and have a great day. Goodbye.